All right, let's jump right in on why Donald Drumpf will never be president. So let's just take a few points. The first being his perpetual lies. Donald Drumpf is incapable of telling the truth. What he learned from Friedrich, his grandfather, who came here, immigrated from Germany. There's a funny tweet, too. We'll put this in here right now because it's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Shows you what an arrogant, pretentious, unfit, anti-American pile of shit Donald Trump is. This is what he thinks of immigration, although his German grandfather immigrated from Germany. Take a look at this horse shit. Okay, now that it's pretty abundantly clear that this guy hasn't got the slightest clue what America represents, stands for, or was founded on as a basic principle, we can move on. Okay, first point, he's a habitual, perpetual liar. He has tried to defraud so many different people over so many bad deals that he has had 3,500 lawsuits filed against him over the previous 3 decades or so. He's currently being sued by 91 people, including the state of New York, for a RICO racketeering fraud case involving Drumpf University, which actually isn't a university. And in his legal documents, he's been told he can't open Drumpf University again, and it isn't even to be referred to as Drumpf University because it's not a university. If you were to look at their alleged credentials, you would see that it's nothing more than a Ponzi scheme set up by a bunch of idiots to fool bigger idiots. So he's a liar and a fraud. That's pretty well established. Lies continuously. Now, one of the things he got from old Friedrich here, the immigrant from Germany, was his love of Hitler. Donald Drumpf, according to his family members, ex-wives, court documents, etc., used to keep Adolf Hitler's speeches by his bedside. One of the tenets of Hitler's tactics was to lie. That was one of his main founding principles. And that's the principle that this schmuck, Donald Drumpf, is running on. Stupid people will buy it. Unfortunately for Drumpf, Hitler did this in a time where mail was delivered by horses, basically. The guy doesn't know anything about anything, even though all he does is Twitter 24/7 with his tiny little effeminate hands and fingers. That's all he does. This guy's tweeting at 3 in the morning. The KKK sends him some statistics on black crime that he immediately tweets. Then he's told that they're false, so he retweets them. Then when he's interrogated about that, he says he retweeted them because he thought they came from a credible source. Drumpf just told us all the terrorist lowlife who shot up a nightclub in Orlando, Florida, was foreign-born, like Drumpf's mother. But no, he wasn't. He was actually born in Queens, where Donald Drumpf was born. So Drumpf has no idea what he's talking about, but he'll go on lying and lying and lying. Now, the next reason why Drumpf is unelectable, he has no regard for America whatsoever, or our foundational principles, documents, or any other symbol of America. We don't know if he can read. He sounds pretty illiterate when he speaks. It's like a bad karaoke audition, watching drumpf on the teleprompter, which he'll have to do, incidentally, to keep any facts going in order. Otherwise, he just makes shit up on the fly, and then later it's all proven to be bullshit. Drumpf lies and lies with no awareness that social media, NBC News, etc., all this is out there. YouTube, all his videos, worldwide. And Drumpf still thinks he can get away with lie after lie. Well, this is going to end up being a gigantic mistake. On top of that, the constitutional problems he's going to run into with his Muslim ban are going to grow in size. We're never going to instate any kind of a policy that threatens American freedom, nor that of the immigrants coming into this country that actually founded and made this nation, including German Friedrich Drumpf, an immigrant to America, and Drumpf's Scottish mother, an immigrant to America. Drumpf will never be president of America. Drumpf's expertise lies in collapsing businesses and being sued for frauds. That's what he does. He extends himself into some sort of business relationship, takes the money from investors, establishes the fraud and the scam, brings in other investors, they all lose their money, he files bankruptcy and gets out. He's done it 4 times. The most recent, just a couple of years ago. Anyone taking this buffoon seriously is going to suffer some very painful emotions at the end of his disastrous run. The third reason we'll mention, you've got his habitual lying, his constitutional violations, which are imminent, as he won't back off them. And then third, you have the enormous and obvious problem with demographics. Drumpf appeals to, and will always appeal to, the lowest scum on earth. Absolute idiots, morons, murderous scum, vile criminal types, racists, sexist, ignorant anti-American birther types, conspiracy kooks. This is what Drumpf draws. This is Drumpf's whole core of support. That's it. That represents about 6% of America. If he can drag a portion, say 75% of the Republican anti-American terrorist religious cult with him, then he can grab maybe another 15%. So he'll be at roughly 22%. President Hillary Clinton is going to grab that other 80%. This is going to be a landslide election, and Drumpf will cause it. Drumpf is not smart enough to know that playing to an audience of 8 will never bring applause from the House that holds 3,500 audience members. Drumpf thinks those 8 loud assholes in the front row can vote several million times apiece, apparently. This is how dumb he is. He has no campaign strategy. The only reason he was able to beat the crap out of 16 other nitwits is because they're all nitwits. Jeb Bush, a raging moron, may have been one of the select picks from this group of imbeciles. He's the guy who said, "I think you can prove that you're a Christian." Well, that said, I guess we're Christians. Prove we're not. The mind of Jeb Bush. So this was one of the people running against him. The second reason Drumpf was so able to clobber the hell out of these morons, these other pandering putzes, is because they share the exact same opinions that Drumpf does. They're just afraid to say it because they know mainstream America will never accept it. The Republican anti-American terrorist religious cult has gone so far to the right, so far, they are literally off the political spectrum. They are in the invisible range. They're not seen. They've gone over the curvature of the earth and they're out of there. No one pays them any mind anymore. Well, Democrats have been working furiously to raise the minimum wage for American citizens. Republicans have been attacking women's rights for contraception, for their ability to control their own bodies, medically, physically. This is what they've been doing, trying to obstruct gay rights. It passed. It's done. It's over. That's it. There's gay marriage. Get used to it. That's what freedom is. It's freedom for all. They have a difficult time understanding that too. And Drumpf beat up on a bunch of idiots who hate women, hate blacks, hate Mexicans, and hate immigrants. What are they for? There is nothing that Republicans are for except guns, the death penalty, and telling women what to do with their bodies. You cannot be pro-life and be for wars, the death penalty, and guns. The NRA, whom Donald Drumpf has an intimate relationship with now, Drumpf got on his knees and really gave him a good Hummer, he actually supports a group that wants to let terrorists get assault rifles. They have no restrictions. They literally have been fighting so that people on a terrorist watch list can still walk into a gun store and buy a gun. There will be no alert, no information transferred, no information shared. This is the GOP. So people may ask why Drumpf, again, beat up on these other 16 morons. Well, there's 16 morons who share another moron's view. Wait until this idiot gets into the ring with President Hillary R. Clinton. It will be a nightmare for Drumpf. This guy can barely hold his own against a peeled kumquat. Please, I mean, this is a guy who kept Hitler's speeches by his bedside, abused his wife, hates women, thinks they should be punished for controlling their own body and exercising their rights, their legal rights. This guy thinks they should be punished. And then he talks about how he loves women, or he loves the women, like he loves the blacks, like his black American that he said was my black American, reminiscent of those good old days that Trump's always talking about, where when a free American exercising their free speech in a crowd yelled, "I don't like you," the crowd would beat him up violently out of their outrageous, crazy sickness. This is the America Drumpf wants. Well, America doesn't and won't. We simply won't put up with it. And when you check out which way the polls are going, they are going to be historic at the conclusion. But we said it before, Drumpf is America's next biggest loser. Watch and see. It's inevitable. No one's going to elect a sissy with a record of dodging the draft 4 times, filing 4 bankruptcies, collapsing numerous companies, and being sued by nearly all of America. The guy's an idiot, an unelectable idiot, and the GOP is going to find out what happens when they hitch their wagon to this wild boar, and it pulls them so far to the right, so outrageously far with the Muslim ban, that their tiny little arms will never reach back to the center of America to shake hands with us. They're done, and they've done it all themselves. And who do they have to blame? Themselves. They told everyone how horrible Drumpf was, and then when they say these horrible things about Drumpf to the media, and the media says, well, do you support him? They say yes. What do you think's going to happen there? Check out the polls and wait till Bernie throws in the support for President Clinton. It'll be outrageous. It's going to be a double-digit loss for Drumpf. He'll be filing his 5th bankruptcy soon. That's inevitable. Watch for it soon. Maybe 8 months.